Hello and welcome to Unwinding Minds. This is part 3 in our series on connection. In the last few episodes we spoke about the importance of connection with others. We then looked into how to make friends and what that means in the context of an illness or disability which prevents you from being able to leave your home or leaving your home regularly. We covered actions that you can take to have increased feelings of connection with others. To all of the above, we must add something more intangible and yet substantial, a connection with yourself. So that's what we're covering in today's episode. Illness changes you. The strange thing about it, the part that I didn't expect at the outset of my illnesses, is how it keeps changing you. I don't know whether it was the matter-of-factness with which my doctors told me that my diagnoses, or my own ignorance of what it would mean to be ill for the rest of my life. But when I was diagnosed, I felt in some way that I had reached the end of the process. I had, in a sense. I was out of the, I don't know what's happening with my body phase, but I didn't see that there were stages beyond that. I knew I would have to accept it, and so I did, straight away. But the depth that comes with accepting a life-changing illness or event isn't instant and complete. It can't be, because you don't know how it will affect the different areas of your life yet. You can't necessarily pull on previous experiences, and you will be faced with new challenges that you couldn't possibly see coming at the outset. There's a reason I'm talking about this in the context of connection. The first person you lose in an illness is yourself. I didn't know then what I know now, that the person I was before was effectively gone. Not completely, not physically, not spiritually, maybe a little mentally, but in terms of what I could do. This was meaningful in terms of how I connected with myself. I had prided myself on the things that I could do for others, but also for myself. I was hyper-independent, and I loved that. That's important. When your identity surrounds what you can do, even if you don't realize it, you put your worth into that. I had value because of what I could give, and that was something I didn't even fully realize until I became limited. At first there was an initial wave of grief, and naively I kind of thought that was it. I thought that it would feel bad, and then I would accept it and move forward, just like I did with countless other things in my life. Incorrect. Minus 10 points. The grief comes in waves, and it still comes. That's sort of grief's MO, isn't it? You get new limitations with an illness, and part of living well with illnesses is figuring out where the limits are. That usually translates into hitting your head on a number of occasions until you get a feeling of where your ceiling is, of your personal limitations, and that's made even more complicated when your ability can fluctuate day to day, which for me and many others it does. I think that parts of the process were made harder for me personally by neurodivergence. I used to crash through ceilings routinely because that's what I thought I should do. I was expected, as many others are, to hide sensory overwhelm and other aspects of neurodivergence, so I ignored it when I could and would privately implode later or melt down. I went through training and qualifications and jobs without asking for help because I genuinely didn't know what help I needed, and needing help seemed to be irrelevant to me anyway. Now bear that attitude of expecting yourself to do things that push you beyond your limits and add in a physically limiting illness and disability. You're damn right I struggled to adjust. And most neurodivergent clients I work with are similar in this regard, firing on all cylinders and not even realizing the engine is overheating. You don't leave a car in 5th gear with the pedal to the floor for days and expect that car not to overheat. It was ableist thinking, and I never clocked it in my own life until I had no choice but to confront it. This might feel like waffle, but what am I illustrating here? Change is inevitable. You can run from it, you can hide from it, you can pretend it's not happening, you can fight it or accept it. Whatever you do, change will still come. And when it does, you have to find the way you're going to respond. I said before that the person I was effectively gone, and I was the first person I lost to my illnesses. But what I mean by that is the tidal wave of change in my physical circumstances meant both a practical and psychological shift, which changed that person so that they gradually shifted into a new version, filled with aspects of the old and new. My identity changed. Though, sadly, my less than stellar passport picture didn't. Your identity informs a lot of things, but the aspect I want to focus on today is connection with self. It's pretty hard to connect with yourself when you're clutching the toilet basin and emptying your stomach, and it's pretty hard to connect with yourself when you are so nauseous that you are unable to focus on any distractions you might be providing yourself. You might not want to connect with yourself when those things are happening. You might be incredibly frustrated with your body, and by extension yourself. You might be finding your experience so alien and uncomfortable that connecting with yourself is the last thing on your mind. Connecting to yourself is going to get hard at different moments in your life, and that's okay. You're not broken if you're frustrated. You're not broken if your experience feels painful or alien. You're not broken if you're struggling to recognize yourself in the midst of what you have become. It would be very strange if none of those feelings arose in your circumstances. Would you expect a friend or loved one not to have negative responses that you're having to those things? No, probably not. You might be holding yourself to an impossible standard there, as many people do. Metamorphosis involves a caterpillar liquefying its organs and tissues in the cocoon. It's a complete breakdown of what it was into what it will become, a butterfly or a moth. Change is really messy, and if that experience I just talked about really resonates with you, I invite you to pause and sit with it. Sit with the fact that you've been hurt by this, badly hurt. Your insides are liquid. Let the grief of the experiences you've lost come, and then when you feel ready, let the love come to meet it. You deserve to love yourself even when you're goo in a cocoon. Loving yourself will help you when you start to pull that goo together into your next form. It will let you fly with grace, and with enough love, you'll start to feel less like you're deficient for having fallen apart, because really, we fall apart so that we can come back together. Connecting with your new self, learning to love and accept your limits is not binary. It will fluctuate and evolve. Some days you'll really struggle, but that doesn't mean you will always be unable or struggling to do it. Just as importantly, when you go to connect with others, you are really going to struggle if you haven't taken the time to connect with yourself. Because who you are now, it's different than who you were yesterday, and today will have brand new choices and challenges. Do you really want to be the kind of friend you were before? Did you love yourself enough then? Did you listen to your inner voice when it asked you to slow down or speed up? Did you prioritize yourself enough? Do you feel confident now to say when you don't feel well enough to do something? Maybe. Or maybe now you have the chance to change some of the answers to those questions. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode. I'd love to hear your reflections after this video. It's a really deep topic that I'm not sure can be adequately translated into words. Did any of this speak to you though? Or did you have a completely different experience? Let me hear it, folks. If you've enjoyed this video, you can subscribe to the channel and ring the bell, and that way you'll hear of any upcoming videos or projects that we have. You can also like it and share it, save it for later if you think that rewatching it might help you to get through different stages of change in your life. You can also check the description and the pinned comment for links to my website and other socials. Thank you so much for watching, and take really good care. Bye.